Everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're gonna play some more Obsession. I know it's been a little while since we last played Obsession, and I think we still just need the Bloody Painter, and I think Jane, or I think it was Jane. I don't remember which one. Let's begin. You're dead tired, falling asleep on the only bus that takes you back to your house. You can feel someone getting closer. They fiddle with your ID badge you forgot to unpin earlier. You keep your eyes shut, hearing nothing but their crappy giggles. They're definitely clowning on your name. Wait, what even is my name? Lion. Lion. I forgot that's what people call me. Am I girl? And it's the exact thing they're screaming and laughing at right now. God, why is my name so damn stupid? I'm such a joke. It's not a joke. Your eyes are closed, pretend to be asleep, so you hear everything they're saying. Think your choices through carefully. Every action has consequences. Some will only lower affection, while others can get you killed. Affection starts at dead zero neutral. It's on you if they end up wanting to repeat or keep you. You finally make it back to that old house by the woods, bone tired and completely drained. Living in the middle of nowhere means you always the last one off the ride. Falling off my feet. Today sucked. Just like always, dealing with NPCs and their idiotic questions all day. Plus the manager's on the massive power trip. God, I hate her guts. I don't hate any of my managers. I hate the life I'm living right now. But it's not like I have an energy to do anything else. At least not the ones I have now. There's been some that I didn't like or disliked. I've gone ideas, hopes and dreams, but nah, I don't even think about reaching them anymore. Just surviving until Friday at this point. I just keep thinking. All I can want to do is crash out and zone out for a bit. But I can't even get that right. Maybe if I wasn't so alone in this, things wouldn't feel so messed up. Just somebody gets me, stays by my side, and makes me feel real. I have no one. Everyone is just an acquaintance. You just stared into nothingness, paralyzed, and the suffocating heat rips through your chest, and you can't do a damn thing to stop it. Then you just break down and start crying. It's crazy how little things used to make me so happy back then. I had it all, and now I'm stuck here, trying to survive a life I didn't ask for. I don't even have time for those stupid moments to enjoy anymore. You sink back into the mattress, and as a burnout hits, your vision starts to fade to black. I just want to sleep. For good this time. Just nice good rest. You close your eyes and feel everything around you begin to fade away. And yeah, I already know what that there are MCs playing. Then at least you drift off into heavy, deep sleep. You're out cold. You start dreaming that maybe when you wake up, you finally get a chance to end it, or get a total do-over by being isekai. Come on, don't miss. Out of nowhere, you catch these weird sounds heading right to you. They're getting on you. Your eyelids feel like lead. But you force them open. It's probably nothing. They can't take any chances. Finally, your eyes pop open and it hits you. Those footsteps are legit. You slowly creep up into the sitting position, holding your breath to hear better. They're laughing with voices muttering back and forth while they trash your tiny cabin. You can hear them rifling for the drawers. Bro, you gotta be kidding me. This place is a total bust. Nothing here but empty snack bags and straight up garbage. It's like you went in the cabin in the middle of the woods. What did you expect? Then you hear those steps coming right for you. Having no door right now is a total nightmare. The thought crawls for your mind. You just sit there on your bed, paralyzed. Well, they keep closing in on you, so you ease your right foot onto the floor. But for a second, you try to get up. A floorboard creaks loudly. Bane, a shot just whizzes past you, ripping a hole through the curtain you had got for a door. You shut your eyes tight, not letting yourself think. You're dead tired and your feet are as trashed, but you don't care. You just book it for the exit. Bad news, there's no cover, and houses close enough to help. Heading for the neighborhood would turn you into target practice in a wide open field. Your only shot is the woods. It's a death trap, but it's all you got. You're hauling butt now, hearing the footsteps behind you and the crack of the gunfire. A round glazes your left arm. It burns like heck, but you don't stop. You can't stop. For a second, you think you lost him, so you pause to catch your breath. Then you realize the path is gone, just trees and more trees. You can either head uphill to the left or go down the slope to the right. Where to? Okay, this time again, right. So we can see, so I can finally see Jeff again. Going right seems like the best bet. If I were him, I'll be scaling uphill. But I remember seeing something out there. That downstream where the current goes, there's actual civilization. Maybe I can find someone to help me. I guess so. You want to keep going? Yes. I'm so tired, my fear of killing me. I hope I run into someone decent. I'm cursed. I swear, might as well start praying before things get even worse. This god guy hasn't done anything for me. I seriously need a miracle right now. You go your eyes to the dirt just to make sure you don't trip. It would be a tragedy to die for a single misstep after everything you've been through. Get to making your way down the mountain. Your head starts to spin from sheer exhaustion. Crying is in sunwise. Lugging heavy junk and putting up with entire fossils is killing you. And having to run for your life because your body's clearly on the verge of collapsing. And then you fall. Your body has reached its limit. God, I hope nothing happens to me in this state. I just hope morning comes, so once I wake up, I can get out of here and call for help. It would be so pathetic to die without even catching a glimpse of my opponent. Your mind goes foggy. In between dreams, you can hear footsteps approaching, until a splitting headache starts to tear through your skull. Someone's yanking you by the hair. Oh, a body. A corpse? They went easy on her. Not a drop of blood or bone in sight. Who did such a crappy job? You hear a mocking male voice. As it speaks, it keeps pulling your hair like you're a rag doll, until you stop moving and feel a sharp pain in your head. Well, I guess she died all alone. Did she RP herself? How pathetic. That voice, definitely not the cabin guy. But it's not like it sounds like a good person, either. A person wouldn't be freaking out. A normal person would be freaking out over a body in the middle of the woods. Standard procedures to call 911, right? Yeah, but I don't think Jeff's got that memo. Still, they might be the only shot you're getting out of a shot at getting out of this. Cry out for help. Well, they're the only person you ran into around here besides a killer from the cabin. Maybe they aren't that bad. Or maybe they're the only chance you got to make it out alive. Wait! I'm not dead. Then you open your eyes. Looks like he snapped you out of it. You draw their gaze and they just stare at you down with this twisted grin. Right then, you knew you screwed up one more time. The guy crouching and staring at you, he didn't even look human. He has no nose, no eyelids. His mouth is sliced all the way to his cheeks in a permanent grin. No human could survive that and still be looking at you, right? Well, you'd be surprised. Just his slash up face reminds me of the Joker. I'm not gonna tell you what the no-nose part reminds me of. The skin. You never seen anyone that pale, not even in a casket. Maybe there's some vampires running around being that pale. Never know. Figures. You should have kept your mouth shut. You're a moron or what? You could have lived a little longer. Your eyes were closed. Your breathing was shallow. You could have gone unnoticed, but no. You had to draw attention to yourself. Way to go. Then you feel something climbing onto you. Something was right by your leg, moving between them. It was his knees. He shoved a hand down right by your head to steady himself, staring you down without even blinking, wearing that huge twisted smile. That's when your last two brain cells finally decide to connect. He looks just like Jeff the Killer, that famous internet creepypasta, you thought. Meaning you're officially screwed. And what's our first clue? What he was talking to us should have been, before you could even defend yourself, or see it coming. His massive pale hand launched straight at you. You didn't even catch the blur of his movement. His hands already locked on your throat. Jeff, I need a spray ball. At first, with a light grip, his fingers began to roam, exploring that small part of you, your neck. Slowly, the pressure began to build, tying inch by inch. You know exactly where to press. Make sure you don't get a chance to catch your breath. Well, thanks for your massive stupidity. You got to feast your eyes on my beautiful face. You better thank whoever dumped you here. And obviously give me some credit too. Actually thank me above all else. You got ultimate gift, saying this face right before you go to sleep. Are you sure we're gonna go to sleep? His grip tightened, the grin is stretching even wider with his eyes pinned you down with cold malice. You could feel his fingers tracing you. So precise, like he's playing you like a damn instrument. He's digging his fingers hard into the pulse points of your neck. He stays right on top of you, watching your eyes, and laughing at your fear, at the way you just begging for her breath. You're dead meat and you know it. Is this really it? The end? I can't give up. Apologize. Your vision is glitching out, getting blurrier. The cold is gone, replaced by a surge of heat that forces the words out of your throat. Maybe it's adrenaline rushing, hitting your system. It reaches a point where you don't even feel the pressure of your neck anymore, only the sheer desperation of not being able to breathe. Before everything goes black, you need to give it one last shot. With that final gasp, maybe it's the genuine, maybe a miracle. You find the strength to spit out a few words. Please I don't want to die. I'm not Fred, I swear. I'm just lost. Look, I'm sorry. I know this place is off limits, but I had just escaped some creep who broke into my house and tried to end me. I figured I'd just pull in here and lose him in the trees. Just let me go, okay? I won't come back, I promise. You stare at him. He still looks skeptical. Either that, or he didn't catch a word that you said. I swear I'll never come back. I won't tell anyone that someone's out here in the woods. I'll keep my mouth shut, I promise. Wow, you really are stupid. Like I give a crap about your pathetic little story. So boring. You're just another waste of time, just like all those other pathetic losers. Hey, look at the bright side. I'm a looker, aren't I? Go to sleep. You're definitely a looker, Jeff. Struggle. The chill starts to drain away, replaced by the heat crawling through your veins, hitting hardest right in your chest. Maybe it's the adrenaline your body pumps out to give it all when your life is on the line. You stop feeling the pain of his hands crushing your throat. There's no time to think about your next move. Thanks to adrenaline, you only get one shot. Your hands move on autopilot, grabbing his arm. You start thrashing, flying back with a surge of strength you didn't know was in you. He sees you fighting back and loses it. That smile stays plastered on his face, but his teeth are clenched tight. He's ticked. Right when he's about to lunge and wrap the other hand, the one that he was leaning on, around your throat too. In the tiny window, you grab a gulp of air and bolt upright, shoving him off with everything you got. You just lose it and scream, eyes shut tight, because you're ticked and way too terrified to see what's coming next. Beautiful? You're not cute. You're not hot, and you're definitely not handsome. You're literally hard to look at. You look like you crawled out of some crappy horror story. Get your freezing, disgusting hands off me. You manage to get up while screaming, your hands clenched into fists as you start to shake. You can't tell if it's from terror or pure rage at being in this mess. For a split second, your last two brain cells finally click. You just screamed at killer. So you slowly open your eyes, expecting the absolute worst. And so you think about apologizing right after. Apologize again. You open your eyes, expecting a knife in your gut, or for him to blindside you, by seeing him just standing there. You think he's giving you one last chance, so you apologize. I'm sorry, I should have done that. I'm just terrified you were gonna kill me. I'm sorry. You're sorry? You go around insulting people and honestly expect nothing to happen to you after that? Look, it's complicated. Let me explain. I was at my place, the cabin by the woods entrance, and I don't give a single crap, you piece of trash. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Please, you're really handsome, I mean it. You know you don't need to hear it from an ugly girl like me. You know you're really, really handsome. You say as you shrink down and start getting on your knees to beg for forgiveness. I bet you even have a great body. I bet you even have a great body, and with a face like that, you look amazing. That's probably why everyone else is so jealous of you. Oh, for real, Ben is low-key coping because of my height and these gains. See, there's no reason to let them what a disgusting hobo like me say to get to you. As if I give a crap about what you think, idiot. Plus, Jeff, I'm literally a huge fan. I just got way too excited. My fan? Yeah. I know, anyway. I'm kind of busy, and you're already boring me. You can head up the hill and see if someone else can help you. Once you spot some crappy little papers with doodles on the faceless stick figure, then you know you're on the right track. Now do me a favor and get lost. You did exactly what he told you, and spun on your heel, and got the heck out of there. You have no idea what even was. If you couldn't process what happened before, there's no way you can wrap your head around what just went down. Is Jeff actually real? Even so, he decided to listen to them and head up the hill. Either way, it's your own option for now. Only option for now. After everything you've been through, all I could do is keep walking in the direction he gave you. You walk with your eyes glued to the glass, crushed by the sheer exhaustion you're carrying. You didn't know if what he said was true or not, but at least you're out of danger. You just want this nightmare to end. But kept walking and walking, even if it wasn't as long as when you first entered the woods. This is already too much. Your body hits the limit again, and you just drop. You drift into a dreamless sleep. You're just chilling at home, munching on chips and scrolling on your phone. This was your only real heaven during the day, the only time just to unwind. But then, right in the middle of your dream, you hear footsteps on the grass nearby. I figured it was just part of the dream, until you hear them getting closer to you. Okay, now you're officially freaked out. Something's definitely off. There's someone next to you. You even hear male voices right next to your face. Ben was right. The dead weight actually crawled out of his cabin in the middle of the night. Sermon's gonna end us. And we can't even pin this on Toby this time. It was all three of us. Well, it is what it is. She's out cold anyway. We can just drag her along. Yeah, or carrying them works too. Thanks to their voices, you manage to snap out of your deep sleep. It sounds like two people talking about Slenderman, Ben and Toby. Is Slenderman real? Oh God, please don't let them sacrifice me. I've heard people who think they're real and try to summon them. True, if he actually existed. The rest of them definitely did too. Frick! I really didn't want to die. You don't know what to do. You're really way too weak to even try running. There's no other option. You accept your fate. The only thing you do is slowly open your eyes to see the faces of people trying to take you. There they are. You make out two figures, one wearing a white mask and the other is a hoodie. Their face completely hidden by the black cloth. They look down at you with anger, or at least that's what you can see in their eyes of one of them. Oh look, the thing's awake. As if making our lives difficult wasn't enough, they just had to pass out right in the middle of the woods. I'm sick of carrying useless people around. If I had to take her, I'm gonna drag her. I'll carry her. It's fine. Who the heck are you? You're not... Take me anywhere. Oh, look at that. Cute. Thinking there's actually a choice. Calm down, Masky. She's not gonna do anything. Look at her. She's hurt. And can't even walk. Well, we won't mess you up unless you fight back. YNC. We even know your name. We're trustworthy, right? Well... If you put it that way, okay. Trustworthy? Who the heck are you? And how do you even know my name? Dude, stop chatting them up. Let's just whack them over the head and knock them out again. Since they love playing Sleeping Beauty so much, let's just put them under again and call it a day. Fine. No. What do you mean, fine? Just let me go. I haven't done anything wrong. Shut up your trap already. Well, we're now cold again. You fainted. Your body hurts. You feel a crushing weight on you. But you can't open your eyes. Chapter 2. Your eyes are closed, but you're conscious. Your mind projects images that feel real, but not all like a simple dream. You're waking through a dense fog. You're walking through a dense fog. You don't even. You don't even. You don't know where you're going, but you continue to walk until you reach a tunnel. You begin to hear a ringing that hurts your head terribly. Feels like someone's hitting your stomach enough to leave you breathless and feeling the need to cough. Where am I, you think? You don't know where you are, but you know one thing. You're far from home. Finally, you open your eyes. You lay on a soft bed in a room that is lightly illuminated. It looks old and there's wet stains. I don't even want to imagine what they might be, you think. You begin to stand up, and the flash of images you saw in your dream takes your balance, and you are forced to sit down to replicate. You get a twinge of pain in your head, and you try to remember. When did that happen? But you don't remember. That memory is blocked by a dense fog. Before you could try to rake your head for some answer, something interrupts your thoughts. Loud noises outside the room you find yourself in, yelling, I need to get out of here. This doesn't look good. I know I can't trust in them. You analyze the room you're in. You sit in a comfy mattress on the floor of the room. The floor is wood, and so are the walls, although it's a bit rotten and stained with red. You see a desk on their side of the room. On top was a plate of bread, of jam, and to the side, set a glass of milk. Close by the door. Your arm still hurts a lot, but not like earlier. Right, I was shot. With this energy, I can't defend myself. What do I do? So we're gonna go and look at the door. We're gonna go to the door. The only way I think of get Bloody Painter. You're scared, terrified even. The voices you hear seem to be frying, to which you fear begins festering within you. But to stay here waiting isn't a good idea either. It may be dangerous, but there could be a chance to escape while they keep fighting. You only get up from the bed and walk toward the door. You stop to listen better, but you can't understand what they are saying. You just know that the majority of the voices are masculine, and they're fighting. I need to sneak away well enough to not be seen. I don't think I can be alone with all of them. I can't fight them all off, at least. You decide it's better to leave the situation than stay waiting for something to happen. If it's something potentially dangerous, you can escape discreetly while they fight. You open the door cautiously to make as little noise as possible. You leave the room with a soft footsteps. The wooden floors feel dirty below your bare feet. You head to where the sound of yelling is coming from. You continue to make light footsteps, the same ones that you take to escape an annoyed client. You hear the sounds of shouts coming from downstairs, forcing you to descend the splitting wooden stairs. You're not able to see much as you continue to go down. I'll step down carefully, very carefully. I hope I don't make too much noise, but the volume of their voices will hide me anyways. You step down the stairs with caution. Each step you take is a big effort to make noise, though you don't know if that's possible. Before you reach the last step, you decide to turn to where the loud noises are. You see a group of people fighting. I think I'm starting to regret this. You go down the stairs with a little more stealth. Just look, anyone else that walked to the floors would be said to be the perfect victim, said the woman who pointed at you when you reached the last step. Looks like you weren't as sneaky as you thought, but you were as quiet as you could be. I think they have super hearing. I thought we would be told ahead of time. After what happened last time. Really? I already forgot. The last time was pretty fun. You stand motionless as you look at the room. You thought for a moment that what you saw was a product of your imagination. Around the table were guys wearing masks, a girl with extremely pale skin, and a mouth cut into a smile, and an elf with a green hat, a green get-up that's also floating. Well, you just kind of a ghost. You feel a small pulse of pain in your head, and you try to return to where you were previously with your head down. I think I left something in the room. Run. It has to be a dream, right? This place is so real. So maybe this is one of those where you're thinking you're awake, but you're actually sleeping. Yeah, that's be otherwise it's really crazy. Hey, where do you think you're going? Yelled a man with a white mask. I'm gonna say I didn't call my last time, but oh wait, no, that's gonna be Masky. Look, and Hoodie's over there holding him like, wait. Yelled the man with a white mask. Well, a man with a yellow hoodie grabs your shoulders and guides you to the table. Yeah, I didn't get much sleep. You don't know how to rat, so you obey and walk. I would love to see like Masky yelling and then Hoodie holding on to you. I wouldn't put so much tolerance if someone took responsibility instead of blaming everyone else. Right, like we were the ones who didn't fulfill the agreement like a certain person, said the man with a white mask, anger laced in his voice as he hit his palm against the table. His eyes peered for the mask. Well, each person has their motives for being upset, though some of us have stupid motives, said the yellow-hooded man. He put his hand on the shorter man's shoulder, turning towards the girl as a boy with goggles and the muzzle gets out what's outside. His hands touch his neck, his eyes look elsewhere. Wow, all of this caused by some random girl, a freak with a terrible taste. Hey, you're part of that terrible taste, Ben. Well, he turns to you. He gives you an unsettling gaze. Horrible taste. A forgotten tunnel. Are you sure this is the best place to take photos? What a bad taste. Glitches appear, new scenes of your life that seem to have been added without your knowledge. That's memory nutshell, though. You begin to cough again. You touch your chest as your heart accelerates. Sometimes you remember memories you're like, wait, did that happen? Mandela effect. Slenderman's a part of the Slenderman been the Mandela effect. You no longer feel the penetrating gaze, but now you're feeling that you're about to vomit. Once again, the senses of your life seem to be added without your knowledge. Each cough comes out violently, to the point where you feel like your throat is going to come out soon. You begin to tremble. The ring is still blaring. You support yourself with the tables as you feel you're going to fall again. You vomit blood and look around frantically. You don't want to fall. You turn around and stagger forward a few steps, desperate, searching for answers. But your gaze lands on the people in the room who scare you the most. It doesn't seem like they like you very much. You can't think clearly about anything, but you know you're going to collapse no matter what. You keep coughing, reaching out for help from the only people standing in front of you. That girl with the carved smile and the floating boy with the green hat. I'm gonna take a guess and say we have to do both of them to get Bloody Painter. Both of them. Hands tremble in desperation, in a desperate, frantic attempt to cling to something or anyone, but the empty void was your only answer. Nobody caught you. The impact against the floor was unforgiving, a dull, heavy thud that knocked the wind right out of your lungs. And then the pain hit. It was sharp, stabbing agony, as if thousands of white hot needles were driving themselves straight into your temples. A constant high-pitched ringing pierced through to your ears, completely cutting you off from the outside world, until bit by bit, the darkness began to rescind. You heavily forced your eyes open. The headache was still there, hammering away inside your skull, but you managed to push yourself up just enough for your vision to finally clear. Yep, we got Bloody Painter. The first thing you saw made your blood run cold. A guy was standing right in front of you, completely focused, holding a small container that slowly filled up with a trickle of blood running down your forehead. Panic flared in your chest. You tried to pull back to escape, but your wrists and ankles were completely pinned down. You were tied to a chair. Struggling was useless, but the sound of the rope straining finally made him notice you. We're back around. Or so you thought. All right, it's full. He mumbled in a calm, breathy voice that carried a hint of melancholy. He didn't look you in the eye. His attention was entirely lost in the glass vial holding your blood. Without a word, he pressed a gauze pad against the wound on your forehead. The contact was rough, and the sharp sting forced a whimper of pain from your lips. Ouch! Oh, you're awake. Quit whining. You're still bleeding. He replied. His tone was frantically detached, spoken in a calm, almost ethereal voice that sent shivers straight down your spine. He pulled the gauze away and lined up a fresh veil right under the wound. You couldn't tell if he was trying to help you or if he was simply using your energy for his harvest. I think it was the harvest. The silence grew thick, suffocating. He didn't seem to care in the slightest about how uncomfortable the situation was. He just stood there, watching the crimson liquid slide down your skin, dripping right into the container. Should I say something? Your voice felt completely trapped in your throat. No way. Is that it? He let out this distant voice of disappointment bleeding into his voice. You only filled one veil. What a waste. Then again, I guess you can't expect much from a proxy. They warned me not to try anything with you. He added, removing the veil and pressing a clean gauze pad over the cut. Ouch! He went again as he pressed down hard. He didn't even blink, merely scaring the badge with a critical coldness. Though, he rose gracefully and walked over to a small refrigerator at the back of the room. He paused, and for the first time, he felt his gaze turn visibly darker. I really wanted to take out... What? Your voice was barely a whisper. The bullet in your arm. If I pulled it out, enough blood would rush out to fill so many more veils. It'd also help me patch me up, right? You looked down at your arm and memory hit you like a truck. The gunshot, the echoes in the chaos in the woods. It felt like a lifeline ago. And even though it was deeply traumatic, in this place, surrounded by masked strangers, it was somehow the least bizarre thing you had to happen to you. With almost realistic movements, he pulled away the veil of your blood. You sat there, tied up and confused, staring at his back, fear tying like a vice around your chest. What did he even want your blood for? Ask what's happening. Gathering every shred of courage you had left, Your voice still trembling, you broke the dead silence of the room. What's going on? What exactly do you want by that? What exactly do you mean by that? He stopped dead in his tracks. He took a moment before responding, slowly turning around to face the center of the room, locking his gaze onto you. If you mean by why you're in here? You collapsed and started seizing. Wait, I was having a seizure? Everyone else just stood around, staring and doing absolutely nothing. I was only there to wash some brushes, but when I saw your blood was going to waste, I decided to ask your captors for permission to drag you in here. He spoke of complete nonchalance. You kept looking around the room in pure horror. He noticed a blank terror plastered on your face, but in the end, he didn't seem to care, going right back to his business as if nothing had happened. My blood? My captors? Why is everyone here talking like all this is completely normal? I can't wrap my head around this. It's a shame you didn't split that wound further, so twice as much blood would pour out. His comments, with chilling coldness that makes your skin crawl. However, they warn me not to force you into hurting yourself any more than that. He pauses, approaching you with measured, deliberate steps. I'll go let them know I'm done with you, and that you're awake and in good shape. He stepped closer and began untying you. Okay, he's tied us up. I kinda like this. Like this image. Now that you're conscious, you don't need those ropes to keep you from slumping over. You look gorgeous tied up and quiet. So sit still, don't force me to tie you back down. You watch him walk to the door with complete composure, and step out of the room, so you left entirely alone in the space. Am I alone? Or maybe it's a trap. He might just be waiting for me to move, try to leave, and then kill me. I don't know. It's way too weird for him to just leave me like this in his room. You stay seated for a moment, trying to catch your breath. It's probably better to wait a bit, just to be completely sure he's gone. A few minutes pass in absolute dead silence. You look around to take in the room. There's a bed with blue sheets and a simple piece of furniture. And a few more minutes tick by. Doubt begins to eat away at you. Is he really gone? You don't hear a single thing outside, so you finally push yourself up and begin to step forward cautiously. Investigate and wait. You don't hear a sound, which only feeds your suspicion. In that other room a while ago, you could hear things from outside. It's super sketchy, but this one's dead quiet. So you search around the room, looking for any kind of weapon to defend yourself with. You don't want to get near anything. You're terrified to touch a single object without fear that it was made with blood or has traces of it left behind, so you don't have a choice. What do you check first? Well, obviously the bed. Your eyes scan the room looking for any semblance of comfort and walk onto the bed. You approach slowly, noticing sheets and blankets are a deep color blue. Next to it is a worn-out nightstand. Sits a ticking clock and a row of books lined up with almost excessive precision. Exhaustion weighs heavily on your shoulders like a physical burden. You look back on the bed. It looks so inviting, so incredibly soft compared to the freezing floor, that you allow yourself the mistake of sitting down. The mattress cradles you, and before you could stop yourself, your eyes grow heavy. In the absolute silence in the room, you close your eyes and fall into deep sleep. I don't even think that's Spanish from my brain. Google Translate. There. That's not English. Or did it say? It says Welsh. It's language. Yeah, it's not any language I know. That is Morse code. Morse code. Morse code. Morse code. It's all your fault. Hey, what the heck do you think you're doing? A sharp, spiteful shout tears you away from your sleep. You pull upright, your heart hammering wildly against your ribs. He's back. His presence completely fills the room, and his voice, once calm, now cuts through the air like a scalpel. That bed isn't yours. Get off it right now. You freeze for a second, feeling the atmosphere turn heavy and hostile. The silence that lures you to sleep just moments ago now feels like it's a perfect trap for his fury. Are you deaf? On the floor, now. He snaps, pointing to the floor with a coldness that makes your stomach drop. Removes the mask he's wearing, and his gaze. A tight knot forms in your throat. See him standing there, barking orders at you with such intense disgust a bare thought crosses your mind. I feel like he's treating me like an animal, like a dog. Yeah. You lie down from the bed, keeping your eyes glued to the floor, and a hot wave of humiliation burns your cheeks. You return to the chair you were in earlier, clenching your fists so you wouldn't notice how badly your hands were shaking. Well, they shake all the time. Just as he takes a step towards you, with attention you can't quite read from, but terrifies you anyway. A sharp knock rattles the door. The tense snap of a man's voice echoes from the hallway. All right, looks like your captors are back for you. About time. All that time I wasted for nothing. Back in your room with absolutely no idea how you're going to survive all this time, you sneak onto the old mattress you first woke up on. None of it makes any sense, and the confusion is eating you alive. I don't want to be here anymore. I want to go home. You choke out for your sobs, dragging yourself over to the same table from this morning. Your eyes lock onto the notebook. What's this? You mutter, flipping through the page after page, fully expecting it to be completely useless, but then... This is my old notebook from when I was a teen. I lost it ages ago. I think it was right after... Something Slenderman. Then it hit me. Then it hit you. You used to be such a massive horror geek, reading creepypastas online and binge-watching those old text-to-speech videos late at night. They lived in your head rent-free 24/7. You were so obsessed that you actually started looking up ritual summonings. Cleverbot, the fogged-up bathroom mirror, the pitch-black rooms. Suddenly, the dots in your brain falling to connect. Is this actually real? Like, they actually exist? No way. The notebook went missing right after I tried to summon Slenderman. You dropped back down onto the mattress where you first woke up on. I seriously thought the summoning ritual had flopped. You tried to force yourself to remember more than that night, but it's a total blank. Memory cuts off right in the exact moment you are performing the ritual. I'm positive, dead certain, that the summoning didn't work, just like all the others, but I don't remember it failing at all. With Ben, I tried Cleverbot. It glitched out a bit, but nothing creepy actually happened. Remember getting so ticked off about it. I tried to summon Jeff too. Oh, we met Jeff on the force at least. But that should have been more like a masking hoodie route. Now that I mention it, so I think chapter 3, I'll do just as masking hoodies. I tried to summon Jeff too, but that was total bust. I remember throwing all those candles in the trash while throwing a massive tantrum. I managed to smile and let a faint hollow laugh, remembering how incredibly cringy you were back then. It makes you shake your head. You didn't care about secondhand embarrassment at all. You were just living your best life. You keep down memory lane, tracing back all the ridiculous internet rituals. You remember the exact steps set for each one, and the crushing wave of disappointment when absolutely nothing happened. It was always the same routine. With some, you were gaslit yourself over the tiniest random noise just to feel like it worked. Though deep down, you knew it was bullcrap. But Slenderman's ritual, that's one. That's the only one wrapped in complete amnesia. In fact, you can't even recall the actual steps nearly as well as ours. Then, right on cue, like a viral entity invading your bloodstream and breaking down your last defenses, a deep, booming voice echoes inside your head, dripping with absolute authority, yet dangerously calm. Yes, you were lucky that day. The summoning did not fail. The voice sounded so incredibly attractive. Smutty? No, sexy. You sealed your own doom. No, you sealed your doom, Slenderman. You're stuck with me now. A sharp glitch tears through your mind. A massive blinding migraine that forces you to collapse straight onto the bed, gripping your skull in agony. Tell me, are you pleased with the outcome? You desperately wanted it to work, and you succeeded. Perhaps I should reward you for your persistent efforts. The pain scales up to a complete, unbearable level. You scream and cry out in agony, but nobody's coming to save you. Hours drag by in a blur of non-stop torture. It really feels like your consciousness is being dissected layer by layer, even though I haven't seen you in flesh until now. Well, you did see us in flesh in day one, in at least one route. Do not fret, I will explain everything to you in due time. The excruciating age persists until your body simply goes numb to it, and you fall in blackout into sleep. You can find your notes by clicking the notebook and icon in the main menu. End of chapter 2. Okay, guess the artwork this time. The artwork. You stand up from the chair, pushing through a sudden wave of dizziness and the throbbing pain from the wound in your arm. Your feet guide you to the right side of the room, almost purely on instinct. The room feels of sharp, pungent mix of flesh, oil paint, turpentine, and unmistakable mechanical iron scent. You already know isn't ordinary red paint. You know, I just realized that Bloody Painter reminds me of that one. If you ever play Fallout 4, there's the painter Pickman, the guy Pickman. He reminds me very similar because he uses blood too. You drift towards a collection of canvases scattered around the room. Some paintings looking complete while others are unfinished. Some rest on the floor, others hang on the walls, and rest on easels. They're so disturbing. They don't look like they were painted with blood. You step closer to take a better look at the ones within your reach. A few featured subtle hints of color other than red, while others barely had any contrast at all. Most, however, railed solely on the single crimson shade, making them violently pop against the blue painted room. They disturbed you, yet there's something about them that keeps you from tearing your eyes away. Cautiously, you step a bit closer, staring in utter fascination. If only this was actually art made with paint. It is paint to him. You know absolutely nothing about art. Your silly little doodles obviously didn't even come close to this. I understand art. I don't understand using blood. You tip your head, trying to guess if the paint actually means anything you think it does. The thing about art is, the art, even though the artist's attention could be something different, you could do your own interpretation. Same with actually writing, I believe. You stop in front of your massive canvas. The brushstrokes are violent, yet precise, and represents Look at this one represents anger. There. You tilt your head. You don't fully understand what you're looking at, but you know the fact that it's blood. You step back, trying to process whether what you're feeling is admiration or deep primal terror, or both. I didn't take you for an art physicist. Well, pulls out old sketchbook. That calm, motionless voice breathes so close to your ear that a sharp shiver runs down your spine. You jump slightly in fright, spinning around to find him just inches away. His white mask seemed to glow under the dim light of the room, hiding a trace of humanity, yet allowing you to feel the heavy weight of his analytical gaze locked onto you. Come on, give me your detailed critique. You turn back around, facing the paintings once more. Well, he presses on, taking a step forward, until he's right against your back, entirely too close, staring at his own work over your shoulder. It's desperately try to recall some basic art lessons from elementary school, but the words get completely stuck in your throat. Elementary school? I'm going for college. Well, I think your draw real pretty. You say, trying to sound competent. Your fingers nervously fidget with the hem of your clothes. I mean, the colors have intensity that feels alive. The brushstrokes are confident, and you can tell you really know what you're doing. You say, desperately trying not to screw up, so you won't realize you don't have any single clue. This one is always like anger, though. This one. The man raises an eyebrow, a gesture to barely catch through the slight shift of his mask. Are you trying to make the most reddest blood ever? A heavy silence settles over the room, broken only by the frank thumping of your heart. Alive? Represents his whisper, almost to himself. How interesting. Considering that the harvest of the raw material for the shade of red, someone had to stop being alive just to make it onto the canvas. Well, there's other ways to harvest it. He looks down at you, a faint smirk audible in his tone of voice. Just do what some vampires do in some media. Steal from the blood bank. You shudder, quickly spinning around to face him. He lets out a small, dry chuckle, unexpectedly breaking the dense tension. No, thanks for that, I guess. His eyes, says as he removes his mask, delicately setting it down on the nightstand. He slides off the cloth gloves from both hands as well, swiping them for a pair of latex ones. By the way, I went looking for them, but it looks like none of the three are around. I asked about the other proxies too, but they're gone as well. Honestly, I thought the one in charge of you was... What was it? Her name again? Kate. Well, sucks to be you. I don't know. Wait, Kate? Never married yet. In game, at least. The good news for you is that no one will bother you in here for now. My studio is the one place where you can't hear the chaos outside. He steps away slightly and takes a seat across the chair where you were previously tied down. With a wave of a hand, he invites you to sit down again, patting the chair like he's ordering little puppy to kneel. He lets out a sigh dripping with arrogance. Do I look like a babysitter to you? You look like a painter. So yes, he says in a monotone voice, without looking at you. They saw an opportunity to dump you for a little bit longer. They took it. I'm going to keep working. In the meantime, sit there and keep your pretty mouth shut. Since you're already seated, you have no choice but to obey. The silence in the studio is absolute, broken only by the scratching of the brush against the canvas. You always known. You have to keep quiet. It was your survival mechanism, long before you ever end up in these woods. And yet, the atmosphere shifts. You no longer feel like a mere prisoner or object to drain blood from. You feel a growing curiosity towards him. He isn't like the others. He possesses a calm that is profoundly more terrifying and utterly fascinating. You observe the deep color brushing the skin under his eyes. His gaze is quickly locked in. His expression fixed on the fabric. You watch him trace a long, steady stroke. He pauses for a fraction of a second to admire it, and suddenly a faint ghost of a smile slips across his face. It's spellbinding. He had absolutely no idea what the heck is going on inside his head, but he can't stop tracking his every movement. Alright, stop staring at me like that. Look at your painting. He lets out a deep sigh and turns his head to face you. It's so adorable. Your heart does a violent flip in your chest when his eyes bore directly into yours. Those pretty eyes of yours, your gaze is entirely too heavy, he says, slowly pushing himself up and seeing the brush aside. He walks over, completely invading your personal space until you can smell the thick scent of oil paint and iron hanging around him. He peels off the red-smeared glove, revealing a pale, ice-cold hand, with a confusing gentleness. He strokes your hair very lightly, barely touching you, giving you soft, patronizing pats. Seriously, you look exactly like a lost little puppy, begging its master to play. Even when I try to look away, I can't. How could I possibly ignore such an eager puppy? He frees completely, trapped between the sheer bizarre nature of his words and the terrifying undercurrent of the threat. He holds your gaze for one more lingering second, clearly savoring your action, before turning back to his canvas with absolute composure. As if his words carried no weight at all, drifting right back into indifference towards his surroundings. A sudden knock on the door breaks the quiet atmosphere, and instantly dragging you back to the growing stress of outside world. Back to having your guard up, constantly waiting for the next attack. He walks over to the door, swinging open, and another man's voice cuts into the room. Thanks for picking her up. I hope she was of use to you. We need to take her back to her room now. Yeah. Apology accepted for taking your sweet time. She's safe. You're welcome. He says sharply, irritation dripping from his tone. Lion, all right then. Your masters are here for you. Don't keep them waiting. Back in your room with no real clue how you're going to kill all the time you're spending here, you sit down on the same old mattress you first woke up in, having a nagging urge to run away, but I guess it's not all bad. At least I had free food and a roof over my head without having to work for it. Or at least not yet. Glancing back at the desk, he knows the single notebook you completely brushed off earlier is still sitting there. Why did they leave this here? You pick it up and start flipping through the pages, not really expecting to find anything remotely entertaining inside. But page after page, old memories suddenly begin to flood to your mind. It looks a lot like a notebook I used to have back when I was a teenager. You look closer and the exact same scribbles and cringeworthy sense of humor that literally no one else found funny except you. This is my notebook. A hot brush creeps in your face, burning all the way to the tips of your ears. Please don't tell me someone actually read everything I wrote in here. It was accepted to be a research journal. It's supposed to be a research journal, but it's mostly just filled with completely random cringe nonsense. I remember saving a bunch of pages in the back to make a research profile on them, especially Buddy Painter. I guess since I'm right here, I may as well keep going with this stupid investigation and finish what my 13-year-old self wanted to pull off. You can find your notes by clicking the notebook icon on the main menu. You start examining the notebook with a lot more care now, reading through every single entry and staring at every doodle. Minutes tick by and you find yourself giggling out loud at every embarrassing thing you've uncovered. Just like you used to back then. Into chapter 2. Okay, we'll see what happens if we go to the furniture. You approach the dresser and glance inside, but you quickly realize there's nothing interesting on top of in the top drawer. You slide open the second. Just shoes, sneakers, nothing useful. The third one, photographs. Looks like there's nothing here. You don't hear a sound, which only feeds your suspicion. In their rooms a while ago, you could hear things like it. So we just skip to the art. Okay, this time let's see what happens if we try escape. You walk with slow, clumsy steps towards the door as fear makes you tremble from head to toe. Your mind keeps spinning through everything that happened tonight. The entities you run into seem to defy all logic or and since with existence itself. You try to cling to a shred of hope. If your tracking of time is right, the sun should be still out. A sunlit force would be your best ally to pull off an escape. With your heart in your throat, you crack the door open and appear outside. An empty corridor stretches in front of you. There's no trace of anyone around. This is my chance. You quickly turn around and turn towards where the figure of your main exit must be. Don't tell me. Didn't I tell you to wait? No, I don't remember. A figure looms in front of you. It's him, wearing the mask with a smile drawn in. Actual blood. With that kind of disappearance, things are going to get very ugly for you. He declared irritation edging into his words, yet it still carried that haunting melancholy undertone. Or do you just happen to enjoy being tied down? I enjoy looking at what our options are. That's why I'm here. He spoke firmly, laying out a sharp sigh at the end of the sentence. Come on, get back inside, move it. You don't know why, but the way he talks to you makes you feel like a dog obeying its master. Go on. What are you waiting for? You feel a heavy presence of his hands gripping your shoulders. He forces you to spin around, shoving you right back into the shadows of his room. Sit. You have no choice but to obey. With your eyes downcast and your spirit entirely broken, you walk slowly back towards the stacked same chair as before. Okay, now I can skip. What are you doing? Nerving yourself up, you decide to ask. He's only a few paces away, so you could hear you perfectly fine. What are you doing? Hearing your voice, he pauses and steps into the middle of the room to face you directly. It was storing your blood. When you collapsed, I watched it bleed out all over the floor. It was a real shame for so much to go to waste. Though, honestly, yours is such a beautiful color. Next time you end up with an injury that bad, please come to find me. Like, my blood's like beautiful color. This looks like red to me. He pauses briefly before continuing in that same unsettling calm manner. And you asked your captors for permission to keep some of your blood, and didn't care at all. They only asked me to hand you back alive once I was done harvesting the blood you were losing. Oh, now I can skip. So let's try escape. And that was Bloody Painter Brady Painter's route for Obsession. If you want my content, please consider subscribing if you're already. Comment down below and liking the video. See you guys next time.